So I've reviewed hundreds of CVs alone in the last few months, and these things have absolutely given me the ick, are a massive no-go when it comes to CVs. If any of these following points are on your CV, you need to get rid of them ASAP, because it's literally going to kill your chances, and I mean absolutely tank. So I'm going to give you a list in the next few minutes of exactly what is killing your CV and how to fix it. So the first thing is your home address. Okay, look, home address is one of those things where, let's just put it like this. When you're applying for a job, they're not going to come to your house and hand you the job offer on a plate. So there's no reason for your full address to be there. Just include your county, your city, your state, whatever country, and whether you're US based or, UK based, only make sure you're putting in your city, your county, and your state, okay? Those are the only things that are actually highly relevant to put into your CV. Do not put in anything else because there's absolutely no need for it. The next one gives me the absolute ick, and it's so cringy because it just comes across as so unprofessional for absolutely no reason. It kind of gives me Tumblr vibes from 2012 when people made email addresses like xoxogossipgirl@gmail.com or supercoolboy@gmail.com or, swaggyboy420@outlook.com. Look, if you're still applying with these email addresses, we absolutely need to talk, because there's no way you're still doing this in 2025. Just imagine you're a recruiter for a second and someone applies with literally the email swaggyboy420@gmail.com. I would literally go like, there's absolutely no way you're using that. If your email is garbage like this, I don't care what you need to do, you need to absolutely change it. Make it more professional. Do your first name and last name. Like, my name's Abi Harana, okay? So make sure it's abiharana@gmail.com or something along the lines of that, right? It does not matter how good your CV is. You could be the best candidate, but if your email is something cringeworthy like swaggyboy or xosco or girlboss@gmail.com, it's going to take you from a level of professionalism to unprofessional in a matter of seconds, and that is your application gone. It's just cringe. Don't do it, please. The next one's a bit controversial because some people are like, oh my god, this is actually really good, we should keep it in there, but it's not, right? It's your hobbies and your interests. I'm gonna be real with you. Recruiters do not give a shit what your hobbies are and what your interests are, because it's not adding any value. Okay, let's look at it from this perspective. Let's say you're applying to a tech consultancy role, right? And you're saying one of your hobbies and interests are reading, and one of your hobbies and interests are horse riding. It's not providing any value to the CV. And I'm going to tell you why. So most big corporations, when they look at your CV, it's not a manual recruiter. They're using something called applicant tracking systems, which is kind of like an AI that you use in order to detect exact keywords that match the job description to see if you're a good fit. If you have stuff like horse riding, I'm sorry, like, that is not a match. It's literally providing no value. So why do you even have it in there? It's not like they're suddenly going to be like, oh my god, this candidate's amazing because they've got horse riding in their CV. Like, people put traveling in, hanging out with friends. Like, bestie, we all like traveling and hanging out with our friends. It's not going to make you stand out in the corporate world or land you your dream job. I've spoken to recruiters, I help students get into corporate roles, and you need to absolutely get rid of this because it's providing no value at all. The next one is something I see way too often, and it's come up in about half of the resumes that I've reviewed. People and students are putting full paragraphs in their work experience section. They're writing paragraphs in their CV about exactly what they did in the role. Their CVs are 3 pages long. And look, you need to listen to this. A recruiter only spends about 6 seconds per CV. When you've got thousands and thousands of CV, they're honestly not going to be spending all this time reading all the essays that you've written on your CV, okay? 2 pages max, and they need to be written in bullet points that show quantifiable results, that show the impact that you've made, and don't just list out your job duties. You need to make sure you're keeping it snappy with these bullet points, okay? Next, let's talk about high school achievements. If you're past 21, they need to go. Look, I get it. You may have been head prefect, you may have been head boy, you may have been head girl, and you've got amazing grades. But if it's not relevant to the role you're applying for, you need to absolutely scrap it. It goes back to the hobbies and interests section, right? They don't care if you like traveling, hanging out with friends, or horse riding, because at the end of the day, who does it? If it's not relevant to the role you're applying for, you need to absolutely scrap it. It's taking space away from the CV from things that actually matter, and it could be eating into that 3-page quota. It may actually be the differentiating factor that takes your CV from 3 pages to 2, okay? So get rid of, use that space instead for things like certifications, extra vocational achievements, but only make sure you include those if they're directly relevant to the job description, to the role. You're taking initiative to actually educate yourself on the matters of the role. So if it's irrelevant, take it out. It's just a waste of space. and you can put in things that actually matter. I know the next one is one that a lot of people are also guilty of. So at the bottom of their CV, they put something like references available on request, or they'll put out a whole list of references and contacts that they've obtained from their previous jobs. They know that they can get references from the jobs in your work experience. If they want to know, they will directly ask you, or they'll reach out to the recruiter instead. They do a lot of work behind the scenes. They'll be checking your social media. You're literally just wasting valuable space. And again, this could be the differentiating factor that takes your CV from 3 pages to 2, okay? These small details matter. Attention to detail matters, because that's what all these top employers are looking for. The next one's low-key insane, and it's not as common, but I'm actually kind of surprised that some people put this on their CV, and I do have to make it a point to mention this. I've seen putting people their religion and their astrology charts on their CV. Astrology. And I'm not saying people multiple, I'll say person, because I've only seen astrology charts on one, but religion I've seen on multiple people's. I don't think I even have to say any more to this. Just please don't do it. Literally, please don't do it. Like, it just don't. And the last one I'd say is probably like one of the biggest culprits. It's having generic objective statements. And Abiha, what do you mean by this? I mean when you say something like seeking a dynamic opportunity to leverage my skills. Like, bro, what does that even mean? It's not showing any impact. It's not adding anything valuable. It comes across as the most cookie cutter generic statement. You need to tailor it to the organization, tailor it specifically to the role, show them how you're going to be an impact, how you're going to tie into their long-term goals. If you're saying something like seeking a dynamic opportunity to leverage my skills, you're literally showing them that you put in 0 time into tailoring the CV for their specific role. Okay, and this matters because it shows them that you're gonna go the extra mile to personalize it to them. It's so generic. It just seems like you've sent that same CV to hundreds of other jobs, which, by the way, you should not be doing. You should only be making 1 high quality application a day. But just stop it. It's embarrassing. It's an ick. So here's what you actually need to focus on. If there's 3 main takeaways you can take away from this video, here's what you need to focus on. The first one is you need to focus on relevant skills and experience directly to the role to match ATS and show recruiters that you are the perfect fit for the role. Match your experiences to exactly what they're looking for. So let's put me in as an example. So I did a biomedical science degree with content creation experience and 1 marketing work experience in summer that I did when I was 17, right? So when I was tailoring my tech consultancy role, I made sure I highlighted things that tech consultancy likes specifically from the job description, like leadership, analytical skills, attention to detail. So I extracted all these things from the work experience I had done in marketing, content creation, and my biomed degree to show why I was a perfect fit for tech consulting. And that's the exact same you need to do, right? Most candidates are like, oh my God, I don't have the right work experience, I don't have the right internships. It doesn't matter. It's all about how you frame yourself. And that's something I really, really advocate on, which no one else does. I firmly believe any candidate has what it takes to get their dream job, as long as they upskill themselves, they know how to position themselves, and they know how to interview. And these are the 3 most crucial things. Second is you need to make sure that there's clear, clean formatting, okay? Remember I told you that a recruiter only spends 6 seconds looking at a CV? Yeah, make them count. And third, so many students just list out the things they did in the job. Like things like, oh, I sent emails, or I ran a marketing campaign, right? Get rid of this. Like, respectfully, it's not showing any impact. It doesn't even show that you're valuable. It just shows you're like everyone else. So you need to make sure that you are having impact driven results in your CV. At the end of that, say, you know what, I ran a marketing campaign which increased customer engagement by 40%. It's a clear outcome showing them how you created an impact. I've got loads of tips on my channel showing you exactly how to do this, and my goal for 2025 is to help 100 students land corporate roles. And I actually run a Job Accelerator that's helped loads of students do the same, because I offer some things that loads of people do not offer on this market to help you secure a role. I drop loads of free source on my YouTube, my Instagram. So if you enjoy this video and you actually are serious about landing your dream job, make sure you smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.